Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your April 2022 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's Celtic crossword as always. And I also pulled a 4 Agreements, Oracle card, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we'll see what we get. Okay, so we have 4. So for you guys, 4th house is Aquarius energy. And at the time of recording this, we had Mars and Venus both move in there recently. Obviously, Saturn's in there as well. And all 3 of them will be in Aquarius for at least part of April. I think Venus is going to move out first around the second week or so. And let me see, Mars, I'm trying to think, right before Aries season, I believe. So, excuse me, right before Taurus season, I should say. So, definitely some energies in your 4th house. Speaking of Mars, we also have Mars coming up in your dice as well, so it could definitely be a focus there. Like I said, it's going to be moving from Aquarius, which is your 4th house, to Pisces, which is your 5th house, a little bit past the midpoint of April, let's just say it that way. And we have Gemini. So Gemini for you guys is your 8th house of death, rebirth, intimacy, investments, and you guys are actually the natural rulers of the 8th house, so there could definitely be a connection with that too. Astrologically speaking, there's not really going to be anything going on in Gemini, but could still be a focus there. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Emperor, which is the major arcana card for Aries, and the Lovers, which is the major arcana card for Gemini. So, much like we saw with the dice, we do see some Gemini energy in the spread. Now, what I'm seeing with this could just be saying that there could be a chance for some improvement within your work lives, possibly some kind of advancement, maybe a raise or a promotion. And with that, of course, since 8th house is also related to investments and such, it looks like it that you could see some growth in those areas of life. Let me see what else. Obviously, there's going to be some Aries energy for sure in April. Obviously, the sun's going to be there the first few weeks. Mercury's going to be there until around the 10th, I believe. And what else? Oh yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, there's going to be the new moon right when we start April as well. So definitely going to be some opportunities there. So yeah, it might even be a new opportunity altogether when it comes to your work lives. But definitely looks like some room for growth there for sure. And in the challenger obstacle position, we have the Queen of Wands, Aries energy again, and the 8 of Wands, Sagittarius energy. So yeah, this could definitely be around finances for you guys. Now, seeing Aries energy come up both in the main situation and in the challenge position could just be saying that for some of you, you might be asked to be in a more assertive role at points, but I feel like this is saying that at least initially you might want to come from the more feminine side of that energy. And looking at it that way, actually, that could even be where that Lover's card is coming into play, right? Because we see the feminine and the masculine energy both in the card there. So it could just be asking you to balance those energies better, right? So if you're coming from your masculine energy a little bit too often, could just be saying that that could be the challenge there, where the challenge could be coming from a bit more of the feminine side of the energy more frequently can actually lead to forward movement. And again, since this is Sagittarius energy, which for you guys is your 2nd house of possession, self-worth, finances, that could be what the key is, right? So, you know, just if you're a bit more open with people, that looks like it might actually open more doors for you in that regard. In the foundation position, we have the Strength card, which is the major arcana card for Leo, and we have the Hermit, Virgo energy. So for some of you, this could actually be saying that you might have that realization, right? That, okay, you know what, maybe I do need to be a bit more cautious with how I communicate within my work environment, right? Because Leo energy for you guys is 10th house of career and social status. But for others, you just could even say that you might be looking for new opportunities too. So maybe you're just coming to the realization that where you're at now, there's nowhere really, you can't go any further, for example. So maybe you're starting to look for other opportunities, but if that's the case, I feel like that's saying that you might be a bit tight-lipped about it, right? Not necessarily letting anyone know, or even seeking some opportunities through your networking, right? So maybe you're just asking some friends, hey, do you know if there's anything available, right? But I feel like as far as within your workplace, you might be very tight-lipped about whether or not you're looking for new opportunities at this time. All right, in the past position, we have the Page of Swords. So this represents energy of communication, and usually it points to not necessarily feeling all that confident and comfortable with what you're trying to communicate as well. So, I mean, for some of you, it's kind of rare to say for Scorpio, right? But maybe this Emperor could represent another individual in your environment that you might have found intimidating for whatever reason. Or for others of you, could just be saying that you may have been unknowingly coming across as a bit intimidating with your communication, so that could have had you a bit gun shy. You know, like one of those things where you're not meaning to come across that way, but from you picking up on the reactions of others, you might be like, okay, it seems like people are taking things I'm saying the wrong way, right? So you could have been trying to scale it back and figure out where that was coming from. All right, in the position of the present, we have the Five of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here. And we did see that come up in the dice, of course, and we talked about all the energies that will actually be in there, basically from the time recording this and through at least a good portion of April as well. So yeah, could just be saying that there could be some potential for conflict, possibly even within your family environment. But yeah, I feel like this is more pointing to what I was saying there. I feel like there's a work environment that you might be dealing with where conditions there might be less than ideal, right? Everyone's like a every man for himself type of mentality, right? So that could be the realization that you're coming to, like, okay, you know, maybe I should be a bit more tight-lipped about what I put out there because, you know, people are just going to try to run with that and it's not going to benefit me, right? So it could just be one of those things that you're dealing with at this time. All right. In the near future position, we have Judgment, which I usually view as Scorpio energy, and the Sun. So seeing these two things come out here could just be saying that you might actually be reinvigorated in some way, right? Possibly an opportunity from your past could be coming back around. That's certainly a possibility. What stands out to me here, too, again, almost calls back to what we were talking about in the main situation position, where it looks like he's blowing that horn toward the feminine energy, right? So again, it could just be saying that this month you guys might actually get a little bit more in touch with the more feminine side of your energy. Now, with the Emperor there, I feel like it's saying not to completely ditch your masculine side, right? Especially because we see the Lovers where we see the two working in harmony. But it could just be saying that you might need to tap into that energy a little bit more this month. And it looks like that would actually brighten things up for you guys. Because interestingly enough, we also see, much like we see the sun with the sunflowers here, we actually see a sunflower in the Queen of Wands energy as well. So could just be saying that that could be the key, you know, to come from a bit more of the feminine side of your energy could open things up for you. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Hierophant. So seeing this here, I feel like this is saying that for a lot of you, you will actually be making an effort to see things from the viewpoint of others, right? Because this is Taurus energy, which represents your opposite sign of partnerships or relationships. So yeah, I feel like this is saying that for the majority, you will actually be making a conscious effort. Like, okay, like I said, for some of you might have come to that realization that it certainly doesn't seem like it was intentional on your part, but maybe for whatever reason you might have been rubbing people the wrong way. Maybe you've come to that realization. You're like, okay, where's the disconnect here, right? So I feel like this is saying that you guys will actually be making a conscious effort to figure out where that's all coming from. Of course, there will actually be an eclipse in Taurus at the very end of April, so there could be some energy around that too, or maybe that could be when you get that realization, but that's what I see with that. All right, in the environment position, we have the Five of Wands. So similar to the Five of Swords energy there, we see an energy of conflict, right? And being that this is Leo energy, I really do feel like for the majority of you, this reading is mainly pertaining to a workplace type of dynamic, right? And again, it looks like the same thing we were talking about here, where it looks like everyone might just want to do things their way, right? They're not too open to collaborating. Everyone feels like their idea is the best idea, and then in the long run, nothing's getting done, right? And that could be what some of you are coming to realization about too. Like, okay, this is just not working for me, right? And that could be why you're quietly just looking for other opportunities elsewhere, because you're like, okay, these people are driving me nuts. So that could be kind of the dynamic you guys are looking for. And then this could also be saying that with the Hierophant in that regard, I could just be saying that you're actually hoping for and looking for more stability, right? Like, okay, this is just draining the life out of me. I want something that's more peaceful, more reliable, more stable, right? So that could be what's going on there. All right. And to be fair, like I was saying with the Emperor, where I was saying it looks like you're not being asked to completely ditch your masculine side of energy, meaning that, could be one of those things where maybe you try to come with a more soft energy toward the situation from the more feminine side. But if people are still being toxic, then at that point, cut your losses. Like, all right, I made an effort. They're still going to be this way rather than get dragged into that same dynamic. I was saying to someone else this month, I don't remember which sign it was, but they also had the Emperor. I was saying, if you think about it, the Emperor is pretty strategic. They're not going to engage in some kind of petty battle like that, at least not when they're in the upright. So could just be one of those things where it's like, all right, try to put your best foot forward. If people are still insistent in being in this type of dynamic, the Five of Swords, Five of Wands, oh well, you gave it an effort, right? All right, in the Hopes or Fears position, we have the Eight of Cups, Pisces energy, Three of Wands, Aries energy, and Five of Pentacles, Taurus energy. So really, I see all three of these operating together as a fear, which could just be saying that you might actually fear walking away from something that you're not finding fulfilling anymore, because you feel like if you do, you'd be waiting a long time for a new opportunity to come along, right? And in the process, you'll be taking a loss. So totally fair, logical, reasonable thing to think, right? So let's just give it a super mundane example. Let's say you're in this job where people are driving you nuts, right? And no one wants to collaborate. They're all convinced that they have the best ideas, and none of them are working. So, like, okay, this is kind of really wearing me down, right? Emotionally. And you're like, but you have that fear that, okay, but I can't necessarily just afford to walk away from this job until I have something else lined up, because in the meantime, I'll be going through my money, right? My savings. And depending on how long that goes, I might feel like I'll, really be struggling for a bit. So it could just be as simple as that, where it's saying that you fear leaving the situation behind because you don't have anything lined up just yet to replace it, which, like I said, perfectly reasonable, especially with all the craziness of the economy right now, pretty much everywhere in the world. All right, in the outcome position, we have the Ten of Cups, Pisces energy, and the Ace of Pentacles. So for some of you, this could represent a new offer might be coming through to you guys, which obviously would make you very happy, as we could see from the Ten of Cups. But for others, you could just be saying also, in addition to what we were talking about, to really try to find a way to tap into your creativity. And I feel like that's going to be a key thing for you guys this month too. So, you could find a creative, innovative way to either deal with the dynamic you're already in to where it's not as bothersome, or through your creativity, you might come up with a new idea to sustain yourselves in the meantime if you do have to walk away from something. So that's what I kind of see with that. Trying to see if anything else comes to mind with this combination. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is Gemini energy here. So once again, we did see it come up in the dice. Now, I do have to say, maybe what this is saying, all of the Gemini energy we're seeing here, could just be saying that things that get set into place this month might not resolve until we get into Gemini season. So, for example, we're going to be in April, so the first few weeks will be Aries energy, then we move into Taurus season. Toward the end of May, we're in Gemini season. So just keep that in mind. Maybe that's why we're seeing a lot of Gemini energy come through here, which is to say, hey, some of these things that get set into place this month, you might start to see evidence of how they're going to play out, but it just might take until Gemini season. So, for example, that budgeting example that we gave, right, where it could just be one of those things where, like, all right, well, just know that if you do leave something behind, it might take until Gemini season till you see a new opportunity come through. And again, like I said, for some of you where you might have found that people were taking your energy the wrong way, right, that could be pointing to what that is too, saying that, okay, coming to the realization that intentionally or not, you might have just come across the wrong way to people with communication. All right, moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have always do your best, and it says honor yourself. Okay, it says honor the man or woman that you are. Take the risk to express your dream. Taking action is about living fully and expressing what you are. Interesting message there, because I was talking about the whole dynamic of the masculine and feminine, right? And it says honor the man or woman that you are. So hopefully that resonates with you guys as well. All right, and moving on to your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Exchanging Gifts, and there's the artwork. The number is 27, and we'll see what that has to say. Okay, it says the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing cost, and determining value. The Oracle's message: you're entering into a productive and enriching time when all manner of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them. Yet in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in a dance of give and take, push and pull, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. This is not a time of just do, do, do. Use your currency wisely and be mindful of the value others bring to your life. So, pretty positive message there. And again, that took me back to what I was saying here, where we were talking about possibly the masculine and feminine sides of your energies that have been imbalanced, right? Where you might be coming a bit too heavily from the masculine side, for example, and maybe need to embrace the feminine side a bit more. So that could be the give and take dynamic that they're talking about there too. So hopefully that resonated. All right, the relationship message says love is an exchange of life force energy between two beings. It grows exponentially when it's reciprocated. You must give and receive in order for love to flourish and abundance to flow between you. Spirit wants you to start accepting all the blessings waiting for you, as well as offer the same gift in return. Open your heart and allow it to be filled. Let love in and let it flow out of you, too. Love is truly yours today. Now, yeah, like I said, as we were going through the spread, I really picked up on a minimal amount of relationship dynamics. This seems very heavily to be related to career and finances for you guys this month, but just keep in mind the love readings will be out next week if you want more guidance on that, but hopefully that message resonated anyway. Okay, the prosperity message says all your hard work and efforts, your commitment to learning, creating, and spending your time wisely pay off in ways you may not have been anticipating. The gifts of yourself, your time, your ideas, and the energy of your intentions are being reciprocated by the universe, which is sending you signs and signals, lining synchronistic meetings and opportunities to bring you success and more. Everything is an exchange. Keep doing what you're doing. Goodwill comes back tenfold. Pretty positive message there too, especially the part about goodwill comes back tenfold, because like I was saying, it looks like you guys really are genuinely making an effort, right, to see things from another's perspective. And like I was saying, if it looks like they're still determined to stay in that type of conflict-based energy, then you could say you made your effort at that point and leave it behind. And we do see the Ten of Cups in the outcome, so that message seems to resonate in that regard too. And lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So this is your mudra here. It's the Kappitha mudra, and the keyword for it is creativity. All right, and there's the info. If you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say, but under benefits, it says can be used as a tool for sexual healing, releasing guilt and shame around sexuality, increases sensitivity and receptivity, stimulates healthy libido, opens the connection between the pelvis and heart, expands feelings of devotion and love and kindness. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, I'll put the link in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.